one aha that you got today? Okay. Anyone want to post? What would I walk away from? Yeah, Angel. That's a big one, right? So, if you know your value and your worth, it's like you start thinking about what you don't have time for, what don't I have time for anymore because it doesn't honor who I am or where I am going, okay? I want you to think about that. All right, anyone else? Any other things that you got as value today for being here? Who would I listen to? Absolutely, because if you owned your value, then you're only listening to things that elevate you. If you don't know your value, then you're listening to anything. Okay, this was a reminder of how I've gotten off track toward the best Rachel I can be. I love that, right? Absolutely, right? So that was my goal in the scope today. What would I walk away from? Like, what would I say? Girl, bye. Boy, bye. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even thinking, like, this is not even what I do. All right. I don't speak this language. Okay. It's so important. I thought this would be a great scope as a reminder. If you know your value, what to say no to. Are there any other ahas, any other thoughts that you are having as it relates to, you setting your prices? Like, Regina, like, come on, right? If you know your value, you're going to own your value and your worth, and you're not going to be in conflict about what those are. God's not in conflict about what those are. He knows you're valuable. He knows you're priceless. He knows you're made in his image, and he's very valuable. So the fact of the matter is, you got to be congruent, right? A lot of us aren't congruent as believers. Like, we're like, I believe in God, and God is amazing and awesome and all of these things, but we're like, but I'm not so awesome. Nope, not me. I'm made in this image, but not me. You know what I'm saying? So if you know your value, what would you charge? I need to change who I associate with in your inner circle. Like, isn't that powerful, Phyllis, to understand that once you know your value, what your associations need to be? All right. I thought these were really great, right? That's right, right? I thought these are really great to get that, right? Confirmation of decision made tonight concerning a family gathering this week. All right. Hey, look, confirmation we love because it's all there. If you only know your value, you can show up like a giant in every situation. And because, at the end of the day, you are very valuable. And that's what I want you to know. And it's so important. Are there any questions for me? Any way that I can support you guys over the next couple of minutes? And that is our right and responsibility to choose. It totally is. All right. And the moment that you say stop, I no longer tolerate whatever it is, then it stops. That's the reality. I had to understand that. I didn't even understand that. I remember thinking that my husband was going to rescue me from some difficult situations. And I realized that God was like, why? Okay. Why you need Pat to rescue you? You need to rescue yourself. Be your own rescue, by knowing your value and your worth, okay? And that's really important. And I think a lot of times, we deal with things because we don't know that we are absolutely valued, that we can be in choice about what we allow into our world and who we allow into our world. And that's why I wanted to do the scope today. All right. Are there any other questions? Or Jean and Colleen are having a conversation. Are there any other questions on the floor? Tiffany, this was a great scope. You're going to have to catch the replay. But it was great. And I'm going to leave it up. I'll tell my assistant to leave it up until the morning because it was a really great scope today about owning your value. I tried to bring my A game. I know you guys got great value. I want to thank you in advance for the hearts and for your scopes. And for coming to the scope tonight because, this is really important. Very empowering. Thank you, Mia. Thank you, Rachel. Hi, Mia. We'll catch a replay. This was a great replay. You need to catch this. You got us all stirred up. Sorry to talk in class. Nope. That was good. That's what we're here, right? Like, we're here to network, or Jean's part of our community. So I think that's great. It was a great scope about knowing your value and your worth. Are there any other ahas? Yeah, Tiffany's in the house. Are there any other ahas or any other questions? For those of you who are not connected with me on Facebook, Mia Redrick, the Mom Strategist on Facebook, or on my main page, my website, miaredrick.com. Sign up for my newsletter list. I'm doing a daily dose of inspiration. You're getting some daily inspiration from me every single day. Can you imagine? And I'm bringing my A game just like this every single day. So if you want that, then sign up for my newsletter list and we'll automatically send that over to you. If you're like, look, I've been watching you and I got to work with you, then just check out my bio here on Periscope. My bio here on Periscope. Lots of great options to coach with me. You can always reach out to me on my website and book a 20-minute strategy session if you are looking to invest in a coach. I don't do any free coaching, right? Love it. Are you loving the daily inspirations? Brilliant. Like, I'm bringing it. You know what I mean? I love those. We're doing daily inspirations that we're sending out every single day. Things that will shift and move you forward. That's what we send out on our email list. And I'm glad you like this, Regine, as well. That's my goal, right? Are there any final questions or comments for me? I've had a great day. You know, I'm so excited. My son is going to college in, what's today? It's the 7th in 13 days. Can you guys believe this? My firstborn is going to college in 13 days. We opened his checking account, his joint checking account today. He was so cute. He said something like this. What percentage? I feel mixed emotions. You know, I'm very excited, but I'm like, oh my gosh. He said today to the banker, what percentage of my income should I be saving every month? And I was like, you don't have any income. Okay, shaking my head, right? Who's sitting in the house? You see, I got the shirt on, right? Whoop, whoop, whoop. So I'm so excited. He said, what percentage of his income? Oh, you know what he just told me tonight? Okay, let me get this right. He bought his first Facebook stock. You guys are going to crack up on this. I don't want to get this mixed up. I want to say he bought his first Facebook stock for $22 or $27 a share. And he just told me today that he's got it's earned, he said, over 500% return. So he said at $157 a share. Okay, is this crazy? Okay, and he's like, yeah. You know, he got on the phone with E-Trade and he's just checking on his little stock portfolio and he finds out he bought a stock for $22. It's now worth $157. Like, is this cool and crazy? And so I say this to you guys because if you have young kids, we bought Pat. He got him his first stock portfolio. He was 13 years old so that he can manage, right, his own stocks. And he's into it. Like, this is his thing. It's not what I do. I don't have a stock portfolio. It's not what I know. But it's what he's into. And I think that, you know, I want to say this because financial literacy is literacy. It's a practice. So if you expose your kids very early and allow them to experience different ways to be literate, they approach, right? They approach this whole process completely different. So he's always in like these different investment clubs and things like that. But how cool is it? Like, he bought Facebook stock for like $22 and it's now $157 and like he's got multiple shares and like, how cool is that? You know what I mean? He's feeling really good about that. So it is really cool. And so I just want to encourage those of you out here, maybe for yourselves or even for your kids. You're like, yeah, what do I get them for 13? Do they need a bike? No, take that money for a bike and invest in something that can create a return for them and help them grow their financial literacy. You know, all summer, Patrick, not all summer, but a percentage of his summer he spent working in one of our investment properties, and he's had to get that property ready for a renter. So he's had to do the things that we need to do, sometimes painting or, you know, or whatever, right? But so that he can understand, like, this is what you do. Like, own assets, right? Assets, right? In a truest sense. And this is how you make money in a truest sense. And that to me is a great honor to be able to teach your kids that thing very early. And we all can do it. And it doesn't matter if you're going to start your E-Trade account for your kid or, you know, if it's a real estate property, take them along. Or if you own a business or you guys all have businesses, let your kids see what, you know, I love my kids to read my copy. You know what I mean? I love to get their feedback so they get a sense of what a great pitch letter looks like. When I get a contract, I let them read through it so they can grow in their financial literacy. So that's really important to me. That's how we, we build generational wealth by exposing our kids to different things like that. And I hope that that in and of itself supports somebody out there with it. But I thought that was funny because I don't have any Facebook stock, but he does. Okay. And now he bought something for $22. It's worth $157 a share. He's got multiple shares, and I think that's a pretty cool thing. And it's all him. And I think that when kids are exposed to, particularly like the stock market early, right, your kids, right, priceless return on your investment brings tears to your eyes, right? Me too. Like, I'm loving this. I can't wait to see what this is going to look like. But I love the fact that literacy comes from practice, right? So you're not going to be literate by, like, think about if you want to read, you got to keep reading. If you want to be literate financially, you got to practice it, So expose your kids very early to financial literacy, and make sure your kids understand that things like investing in, consumables is not investing. Make sure your kids understand that investing in things that are like food or, or disposable objects is not an investment. My kids are real hardcore about what that looks like. Like Patrick won't even spend his money on food for anybody or himself or clothes, okay? Because that's not an investment. An investment is something that creates a return for you long term. Make sure your kids understand that because you understand that. Your kids will understand it if you understand it. It's really important, okay? So Kenyatta is in the house. All right, so I want to thank you guys for your time today. Are there any final questions? Yeah, are there any final questions here? I got mixed emotions. I can't wait. When I do the scope, after we drop Patrick off, I'm probably going to be a little emotional. I need to check my schedule and make sure I'm going to be ready for that. I know my youngest son is like, he's like, it's going to take a lot for me to get used to Patrick not being here. This is going to take a lot. This is going to take a minute. So we're going to take him, after we drop Patrick off to college, we're going to take my youngest to the Football Hall of Fame so that we can try to make it a little bit easier because he's a big football fan, and in the transition because he's going to miss his brother. That's his rock star. And we're going to miss Patrick. This is just a new season. But I'm like, as a mom, what's the alternative? Like, is the alternative that your kid lives in your basement forever? Like, if you don't go to college and do something that's awesome and is amazing that you want to do, like, what's the alternative? Like, do you live with us forever and, like, we pay your bills and take care of you? Like, so that can't work. So you got to let them go, you got to let them grow, right? So that's the reality of what it looks like. But it doesn't mean that you won't miss them. And, I definitely think about that. I've already had my moment of crying. So I'm sure there's going to be another moment where I get very emotional about what it looks like. And but I'm excited, and we're ready, and he's ready. He's excited. So and I can't wait to see what it looks like. He's been listening to what is it that he's been listening to? He's been reading like all these TED Talks and books on like who he wants to be in college. That's his thing. And he was telling me today, we had lunch after we opened his bank account, about how he wants to basically leverage his skills of speaking and things like that. So, it's just kind of cool listening to who he wants to be and supporting him and seeing that he can make all those things happen. You know what I mean? Like, that he can make all those things happen. And that's our job. So I want to thank you guys for listening tonight to me on part 2, my mommy rant. But it's good. And I'm excited. This is the next chapter of what this looks like. All right. I love you guys. Have a great an amazing night. I appreciate you for coming tonight. And if you haven't shared yet, please share on Twitter, on Facebook, and of course on Periscope, right? I thank you so much for being here tonight. I love you guys. Have a great night.